believes. He was putting his beliefs into your life. He was sort of training you or developing you to accept what he knew, as if what he knew is the right thing for you. But virtually, the very true God that you probably should hold on to may not necessarily be that. But as long as he has conquered you and he has imprisoned you and has put you into that captive state, you have no choice than to agree to it. Because at the end of the day, as I speak right now, the true God, I honestly believe and I want to say to you, has not shown himself. Neither have he shown his face. He has allowed everything to be as it is. He has not condemned anybody. Who condemns me? The Christian who holds the Bible is condemning me. The book, if you close the book and the book is lying there, the book will not condemn me. It may have all those condemnation words in there, but they are in the book and they are closed. But when you open it and you use it against me, you are condemning me. You understand? Because the God himself who created me has not condemned me. He has not. Neither has he condemned you or condemned anybody. But you want me to believe otherwise. Think carefully about it. If God wanted to condemn me or want to kill me, he would have done it even in the womb of the mother or the woman who gave birth to me, that I wouldn't have even been born in the first place. Because God, the God that the person who this woman was talking about, he was agreeing that he was an omniscient God, omnipotent God. So that God definitely knows the future. He knew my future. And he knew that I will be standing there today talking to her. He knew that if my speech or my approach will not be right, it will sort of bring problem to the debate or the interaction I was having with her. So he wouldn't even would have allowed me to be born or to be here today. Now let's not forget that the work of men can also stand in the way. Now, a man has got the ability to distract other people. They may not necessarily be God, as I've said it. The murdering and the distraction and the wickedness and the meanness that we point finger at some devil who is nowhere is all from us. Somebody undermining you, you might not know who that person is. You're thinking, devil. Where's the devil? Maybe it is devil, but at the end of the day, the practical finger pointing is on a person, a human, a physical being out there. Maybe he might know or he might not know, but his actions is contributing to your problems, your suffering. Just like an African continent or the South American continent will say that the rich countries, the rich countries or the developed countries are sort of instigating certain things, and they are making it impossible for the economy to grow, which is possible. Today, most of the African countries blame the CIA and whatever that toppled down the good governments that was about to change the whole African continent. Ghanaians will say Kwame Nkrumah was killed because of CIA and all that, because of the CIA undermine that, so that every day they will still have power and put the country in the state where the country will totally depend on them. So they worked in such a way that the farmland will not be taken from them. It's like the whole African continent was like a farmland. They cultivated gold, manganese, diamonds. Everything was being picked from there. They give you a little, they take the raw material away. They pay something, they take raw material away. They have invested so much into the place. Before they take it with not much, they don't pay much. But through the independence and the setting free of most of the countries, they decided to pay something substantial amount that, according to the liberators or the leaders, it was acceptable to them or through the agreement. So somehow something is being paid that people have agreed to. And so they pay something, but still they don't even pay enough. And when they take the raw material and you go to the markets, you can realize that you don't have much choice of what to say when it comes to the World Trade Market Center, where the African have to say that this is how I want to sell my item. They will rather make prices for you, because if you don't, they have enough for themselves that they can tell you that we don't want it anymore. After all, we've got enough, because they have enough. For years, 100 or whatever years, they were exploiting and taking as much as they want to take. So the businessmen are already rich. The world is already rich. I mean, in some lands of countries where there was mining going on, hole that is under people's house probably it almost can be swallowed like a volcano taking place, because they've dug all that with the whole ground, they've dug in the country, they've dug the holes so deep and so wild that most things enough has been taken out into the world, So how are you going to? They have every right to bluff and say we don't want it anymore. And now even advancement have gone so far that there are things that that has been developed in the sense that might not necessarily need those raw materials that will be coming from Africa or from any other source. So the rich countries totally are moving into an age where they will depend on themselves. They probably wouldn't need those trade partners anymore. They will totally be by themselves. And when that moment comes, they will completely hold on to their technology, their knowledge, and whatever happens, you are only bound to sort of come into the West world or the rich country and try to find a way to seek asylum or to seek a way to live there so you can survive, because they have drowned you and make you penniless, and you haven't got knowledge to even develop the little you've got left. You haven't got any means to survive on your own. And you can imagine that place is being turned to a desert. A very rich and resourceful land is becoming a desert. Almost like a desert. You're living in a forestry area, but you're always hungry. You won't believe it. And they who are living in an icy land that even to grow an apple, they have to wait for the season of snow to change or you have to build a tent before they grow an apple. While you can plant every day, but yes, still you can't even have, food to eat. You have to depend on them who live on desert and ice to give you food. It doesn't make sense, does it? And most of the farms, even in Africa, are still owned by, most of the countries are owned by Africans who have, over the time, due to whatever happened, they've even become Africans, and you can't drive them, because it's been a long, things have changed. People settled in there for so long, and there's no grudge about anything like that. I'm not asking for grudge, but if we were talking about peace, peaceful means, these things, when you look at these things, it props up, and then you have to resolve it, in your own mind, and you hope that in the other, in the opposite end also, they'll also change and sort of, begin to see how necessary it is for them to be flexible and embrace the other people. Because no matter what, our life was not, the life of the poor man did not become poor because of he enjoyed to be poor. No. We have agreed, life, the strong have agreed to go in a certain direction, and they are dragging everybody along. Money has to be invented in this generation to build economies and all that. This economical approach has not just come through thin air. They have sat down and planned it. Men has taken decision, and they are dragging everybody along that this is how the world should be. And they did that through exploitation of any resource, any raw material that was necessary available to them. And so we are all supposed to be part of it, whether we like it or not. You understand? And so if at the result of that, others, has made the sacrifices through land or through raw material, whichever ways, and it pays off, they should rather return. But whatever they get, when they return it back, they sell it to you even twice or three times the amount they are supposed to sell for you. So eventually, even if it's coming as an 8, you end up paying 10 times more. Because there are other things that you may buy that they've put all the profit on it in terms of what they've given you as 8. Because they have produced something out of what they took from you. They bought something and they pay something later for it. And then they will reproduce it, and make it through their technology ideas they've got. They have got the brains, you have got the raw material. They produce it and then they bring it to you 3 times the cost. And what do you have to do? You need it. It's enticing you, so you take it. And when you take it, there you are. You're caught into in there. You're giving all the money that they gave to you. Even you give, and then you have to find ways to get more to give to them. Because if you had 10,000 from them as a result of the raw materials they took, they have refined all that raw material, made something out of it, and they are selling the thing back to you. Let's say 3 times the cost that they paid to you, so it's going to be 30,000, and you want the item, so you pay the 30,000. How do you pay 30,000?